Well, hello everyone, my name is Mercy and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be playing a game called The Longest Walk. Now this is actually one of the only instances so far where I was like, maybe I should read the description of this game. And it seems to be something that probably we should take a little bit more seriously, and it has to do with depression. And apparently the person who made this, his father's depression. So, I got curious. It was in my downloads, and you know, I want to see what this is all about. You know. Check out those numbers if you are also feeling the same way. Somewhat unsettling. Game by Alexander Tarvit. Hope I said that right. Oh, I'm in the game. Okay. Oh, I'm walking.
I felt anxious, so anxious that I was burning. I was, my heart was beating really fast. I couldn't sleep. I got tireder and tireder because I couldn't sleep, because I was worrying. I was worry. I've let my family down. Everyone's going to suffer because I'm no good. Everybody who relied on me, it was a false reliance. I was a fake. Therefore, I worried even more about what financial disaster I'd put on my family. So, anxiety, nervous energy burning off, lack of sleep. Yeah, I remember vividly curling up in a ball in the living room floor, howling, not even crying, howling. Sound shouts. Yeah, I felt so bad. That's all I could do. I just wanted to be taken away from her.
I'm assuming that might be his father speaking, or maybe it's something he's reading off that his father wrote.
I only realised something was wrong when I was driving back from school crying, and I knew this wasn't right. It was a build-up of stress in work and expectations of work, and then finding that I couldn't do it. I wasn't alone. Other people were struggling with it, but I just thought, I can't do this. Why? What's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? I'm a failure. I knew I was stressed. I didn't know I was depressed, and I think it just got worse after that point. There was no stopping it. Once it started, the feelings of negativity about not being good enough, I couldn't stop it.
I really like the style.
The whole thing made me feel that I was worthless, so I didn't want to meet anyone. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I was so worthless that there's no point in, I shouldn't be indulging in my hobbies, which I love, my cycling and my books. I couldn't do that. I could see, and now I can, that these are the sort of things I should have kept doing. I should have kept in contact with people. I should have gone out on my bike. I should have gone to the cinema. I should have done this. I just had to hide because I was an embarrassment, and I was a worthless human being. And all the things that laterally I know is how you deal with it. I couldn't. It consumed me. Finding a way to kill myself that nobody would get hurt with. I didn't want to jump in front of a train in case the train driver had to suffer stroke. I didn't want to hang yourself in the forest because some kid might find you. But I didn't want to kill myself. But I did. And it was not a drama thing, it wasn't attention. I didn't want to kill myself. It was, I'm a useless piece of shit. I'm no good to anyone. Everyone would be better off without me. Which didn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. But I was so desperate. I was so down. I could understand why people would do it. I was so numb that I could feel that people in my position then I could see how they could do it. But unfortunately I knew I couldn't because of my family. There's no way. Even though I was suffering and I was hating it, and I was absolutely hating myself, I would have never done that to my family. I remember a run and actually being on the beach at Kingsbands and thinking, because I was away from you all and I was having me time, then I reflected what a fucking great life I had. This is brilliant. I love my family and this is great. I can do this. I am a guy who did a lot of things on his own, and I think when you're giving time to other people as your job, sometimes you better think yourself without being too selfish. But as soon as I got out there into my stride, which I'm not a great runner, but into my stride the head would clear. And then you just enjoy the experience. You hear the birds, you listen to the sea crashing in, you feel tactile the sand, and the experience of doing that sort of thing. So I could enjoy the surroundings. But yeah, at the start, bang, rush, because it was a big timetabling, and at the end, yeah, more relaxed. And go on with the rest of it. I know that I've had these issues. I'm hopeful I won't have them again. I can't tell if I'm going to have them or not. I don't know what's going to kick in. You know, I didn't think I'd get it after the second time. But then I went back in that position of responsibility. And I had a trigger there. I knew things were happening, and I knew that I didn't want to be ill, and I knew that I should be doing certain things and doing all these different techniques, but I couldn't stop it. And that was also a frustrating thing, that to have this experience of 2 big episodes. And then the third one to come again and know and be aware, because I was awareness of triggers and stresses, and because I couldn't get a grip with that made it worse. And for the second and third episodes I got better at dealing with it and saying, well, I can't do anything about it, I'm ill. If I had a broken leg and I was on a plaster, it's obvious, but because I've got a broken head, it's not obvious to see that I'm ill. I think the last time I was ill was so much quicker because I did get the grip. I would like to think I'm a better person for it. It was a good thing. It was a horrible thing, but it was a good thing, and that it made me reflect on what was important. The family was more important than anything else. What other people think doesn't matter apart from what's close to you. And work is important, but hey, it's a job, and getting that balance right, and that's what was wrong. boys, I don't know, that we talked about, and I think they weren't fully aware of just how seriously ill it was, which is brilliant because we were too young to deal with that at the time, but it's good to talk about now. I hope they know that if anything like that happens to them, then they understand it. Well, it's happened to their dad, so, and he's still here, and he's still okay, I hope. And and yeah, that if it happens to their friends and that happens to people they love, that they'll have insight into to know that people need help.
Well, that was somewhat unsettling, the game. And I just want to talk about it just a little bit, because I didn't really say anything while we were playing the game, obviously. Or sorry, not somewhat unsettling. I mean, well, I guess, I don't know if that, maybe that was the company, sorry, The Longest Walk, no. I mean, I don't want to say for sure that, like, I'm like, I know everything and all that, but, I'm sure everyone can pretty much relate, whether they have depression or not, you have depression or not, or a family member of yours, had depression, at some time, or a friend of yours, sharing those experiences and everything like that, never lose hope and just keep pushing, keep kicking in, because things can get better. It doesn't matter if it takes, and it sounds terrible saying this, I mean, not terrible, but, it doesn't sound so great when you say, oh, maybe it'll get better in like a year, maybe it'll get better in 2 years, 3 years, whatever it might be. The whole point is that you want to have that, I don't want to say all the time a goal of it, but that's always how I kind of see it, is that you never really find like a goal of happiness. You find a goal of like something to just like you want something to strive, towards to better yourself. There's really no hitting conclusion to it. Life is life, and unfortunately there's a lot of things that get in the way, and it's a lot of things can be very stressful. Again, I'm not very good at talking about all that stuff, and everyone has their personal difficulties, of course, and I don't know, just everyone has their own experiences and everything like that. So I think it's really nice though for a game like this to show something like that, and I don't know if I'm gonna post this video, I really don't know yet, but to show his story and everything like that. And I really like the style of the game, where it it follows along like a pathway, obviously with words, dialogue, whatever, the way he was set up and everything, with kind of pixelated pretty much. I like that a lot. It's basically in and out of places, and probably locations that they know. So something very special to the developer, and obviously his father as well. So I think it's really cool. But yeah, if you ever, I mean, I can't say for sure, talk to a professional or something like that, right? Sometimes that works for people, sometimes it doesn't. I don't really like that as much, because me personally, I'd rather want to communicate with somebody who I know genuinely cares about me, which, his father obviously mentioned that, who cares what other people say, it's really who's close to you, and unfortunately sometimes, yeah, there's some people, that don't really have anyone close to them, no family, no friends, no nothing at all, and it's just really, really sad. But you'll find that light, and you'll find someone, you find that one person that you'll relate to, and you might not find them yet, but you will eventually. It's kind of like love in a way, but relationships don't always have to end with, I mean, it's always love, but you know what I mean. I don't want to drag this on for too long. I could mention a lot of things, but it's something to think about, and I'm glad I played this game. I think it was really interesting, and it was really cool. thing that, you know, brought light to his father, obviously. So, and what he felt. And probably a lot of other people can relate to as well. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. This is The Longest Walk. It's on Steam. It's free. Go check it out. Go support the developer. I'm sure he's in the developer section, or I don't know how Steam works, but you'll see it when you get there. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, bye.